There's this weird supposition that if you do magic or you do spells, then somehow your life is going to be perfect, that you're never going to have anything go wrong. Because if your life doesn't look perfect, then your magic must suck. Manifestation girlies and the spiritual coaches don't want to tell you this because it would undermine their bottom line if they told you there are no guarantees. The mundane effort that you put into your life and into yourself is just as important as the magic you do. I've been a practicing witch for 20 years. I've been studying the occult for over 20 years. Nobody's magic hits 100% of the time. Life is really hard. Most people on social media who are curating an aesthetic for you, a vibe for you, especially people who are trying to sell you something, they are not being 100% transparent, authentic, and truthful. People, including spiritual teachers, do not come on these apps and tell you about their failures. I am a full-time professional witch and I make my living doing magic, which I'm really grateful for. But what you don't see when you look at my social media is the 5 to 10 years that I spent failing. You don't see the years where I could barely afford to pay my bills and feed myself. You don't see that I had black mold in my house and a hole in my ceiling that would let water in every time it rained. You don't see the abusive relationships that I was in that took me years and years to get out of and even longer to recover from. You don't see the almost decade I spent in active alcohol addiction, fighting for my life every time I picked up my 5th mezcal and soda, which was with great frequency. I have failed more times than I can count this week. I'm not on top of my emails. I'm not on top of my DMs. I have 2 books that I'm trying to write, and I haven't written them because I spend so much of my time panicking about what might happen if my business falls apart. Because I am terrified to go back to the life that I fought really hard to claw my way out of. Do I do magic for myself about it? Absolutely. And has that magic accomplished incredible, miraculous things in my life? Absolutely. But magic is not a band-aid. It's not an instantaneous fix to big structural life problems. The big structural life problems are still going to be there after you do the spell or the ritual, even if the spell works. Sometimes life is just going to suck. The universe is chaotic and random, and that is part of what makes it so incredible, so fun, such an adventure. It's also what makes it so painful. But the most important part is that is how we optimize our magic. We work with the chaos. We use the chaos as a force to affect change. That's half of it, and the other half is mundane effort. And even with that, you're still sometimes just going to fail. That is part of being a human being. Failure doesn't mean you're not going to have a win tomorrow or next week or next month or next year. Keep it pushing.